Live on Chris's Real Talk. I believe it to be the 31st, which is a Wednesday of July 2018. Now, I've just had the last 2 days off. I've got really bad camera. That's a bit, it'll focus in a minute. But, so I've had the last 2 days off. And in those 2 days, I've had a lot to do. I didn't really get much of what I wanted to get done, but I was a busy boy. I was a busy boy. Can this focus? Screen's there. Aha. There we go. So, well, let's just get this sorted out. So, I have a letter recently from Nissan. I drive a Nissan. I drive a Qashqai. If you don't get that car in the States, then sorry. It's a great car. And it said that I had a service plan. Okay, cool. I got a service plan, so I phoned them up, and sure enough, I have got a service plan. I did not know I had a service plan, and I thought, great, that does me a favour. So I booked in my car for its annual service, which saves me between £200 and £400 because they're doing it for free. And that's, the service plan's valid until September next year. So that's, again, saves me money. Happy days. However, my car was also due an MOT. And for those of you in the States that don't know what an MOT stands for, MOT stands for Ministry of Transport. It's a certificate, an MOT test certificate, which you need to prove your car is roadworthy and safe. And they check seat belts, wipers, tyres, everything that has anything to do with safety or the correct function of the car has to be tested. And you'll either get an advisory, that's strange, and you'll either get an advisory on it to get it fixed, sort that out, aha, or it will just fail. And the MOT, or the Ministry of Transport, certificate is governed by the DVSA, which is the Driver and Vehicle something agency. It has changed. It used to be DVLA. It used to be Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency. So anyway, I need to get this MOT done. I need my MOT certificate because if it runs out, or if you don't have the certificate, then your car is then illegal to drive. You cannot drive on the road in the UK without a valid MOT. And you don't even need the certificate on paper because it's all digital now. But anyway, moving on. So I need this MOT. And what I do is I phone around every decent garage that I know, or that I know of. I do Google searches, and I prefer to take my car to local business. I don't like going to big corporation companies. I don't like doing it. So I like to try local business first. Always have done. And everywhere said to me, can you come back on Wednesday? Not, can you come back on Thursday? Can you come on Friday? And I'm like, no, I can't do that. Focus. I can't do that. I need it done today. Today's the day. I'm off work today. I can't be letting my other half do this with dragging the kids out, because it's a 45-minute to an hour process, and it's just not fair on the missus. So I said, I need it done today. No, I said, if you've got any cancellations, call me. Okay. Anyway, as a complete and utter sheer last resort, I call Kwik Fit. And everyone in the UK knows what Kwik Fit is. It is a place to take your car if you want to be overpriced or overcharged for everything. Whether it's your batteries, suspension, exhaust, your servicing. They are renowned for finding things wrong with your car and then charging you for it. But I drive a 14 plate, 2014 Qashqai. You know, I'm its second owner. It doesn't need a service. Well, it does need a service, but I wasn't paying for a service. You know, because they'll always say, we've done the service, but you need this, but you need that, but you need all the extras. I wasn't doing that. I've got my service paid for already. All I need is the MOT. The MOT is a universal price at a fixed price of £39.95. And depending where you go, you may be able to get that cheaper. If you go to a Halfords Auto Centre, that's the one, you can get it for about £25 if you pay for that online. Great. If you're the unlucky bastard that has a Renault French car, I've heard rumours, and this can be proven by you guys if you want to try and tell me anything different, that they try charging £55 for an MOT, which is not the going rate. But either, look at that beautiful sky. So you know, so anyway, I take my car, 5-minute drive down the road, literally out of convenience, and because it was the only place that had any time or space to do it. And I take my car there. It was booked in for 12:15. 12:15 in the afternoon is the time that I was slotted in for. And I got there in good time, about 15 minutes early. I like to get places early. And I gave them the key. And they said, no worries, Mr. Staveley, the car will be 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, cool. Not a problem. So I left. I went down the road. I got some lunch. I had a chicken burger and chips or fries. That's the one. So I got to let everyone know what's going on. And then I went back, you know, after about 45 minutes to an hour, sat down patiently, had a cup of tea, really shit tea. And then this woman, a rather robust lady, that I actually thought was a man at first, walks out with a bit of paper. And I thought, aha, this has got to be me because there's no one else here. And the gentleman that had the paper comes to me and goes, Mr. Staveley, your car's failed its MOT. Now, normally, when you fail an MOT, you still have to part with the money, but you do get a free retest. And normally, you would have, I'd say, 3 days to a week to get anything sorted out. And even though it has failed, you're legally allowed to drive that car the shortest route home and park it on private property. You see, them's the rules. However, you'll love this. This guy says to me, yeah, you don't have that luxury anymore. Now that you've failed your MOT, you've got no grace period to get things fixed. It is what it is. You're not allowed to drive it. I went, excuse me? Excuse me? You know, and I did notice that they hadn't given me back my car key. It's like, okay, so I said, what did it fail on? And they said, your near side front and your offside front tyres were illegal. Now, I make a point of checking my tyres. I do try and check my tyres on a regular basis, and I'm almost positive I had at least 3 to 4 millimeters of tread left, because over here the legal minimum is 0.6 millimeters across 3/4 of the entire width. So I think that's right anyway. I might be talking about buses, but either way, I know it's 1.6 mil. So I said, how much for 2 tyres? Do you do part-worn tyres? Because I will buy part-worn tyres or used tyres, providing they have at least 5 millimeters of tread. You see, if they're good tyres, I can tell a difference. I mean, I used to work with cars, you know. So they said, no, we don't do used tyres. The cheapest tyre we have, and please someone, please, the cheapest tyre we have is Pirelli. Pirelli tyres, the cheapest they have. Most places like that, you know, be it Halfords or any other place to get your car MOT'd that does tyres, don't just stock Pirelli or Michelin or Continental, you know, or the massive brands. They'll have tyres like Aerospeed or GT Radials, you know, just the slightly more budget tyre, which are still good tyres, they just are cheaper. And I was expecting to pay, and I was willing to pay about £90 per tyre. That's roughly the budget I had. You know, I'd already parted with pretty much £40 for this MOT, which failed, and I needed new front tyres, and I was willing to pay up to £90 per tyre. But nope, they said they only had the cheapest tyres they had were Pirelli. So I said, how much are these Pirelli tyres? And I knew it was going to be expensive. They said about £200 per tyre, and that's with a 25% discount. Oh, so I'm going to get on to the main crux of the title of this video very, very shortly, because not Halford, sorry, I do apologise. Kwik Fit do prey on the weak. They do prey on the weak. I'm going to get to that shortly. You see, now, they told me I couldn't drive my car. They told me my car was illegal. They told me that I had failed my MOT. They told me that I needed 2 new tyres in order to pass an MOT. 2 tyres which they could not cater for because they're a great big conglomerate and they only want to take money off you as opposed to trying to help you. So I knew and I know that there is a tyre store a good 5-minute walk down the road. A place called Sydenham Tyres. And for those of you that live in the South London area, this is my plug for Sydenham Tyres. Go down to Sydenham Tyres. Simple. They do have new tyres. They also have used tyres. And I asked them for tyres this size. 225 4519W or R45W, whatever. They're a big tyre. They're not small. I am rocking 19-inch rims. I've got rather large wheels, so I need rather large tyres. So I said to the guy, look, I've had to leave my car in Kwik Fit up the road. I said, they can't cater for my needs. I said, I need 2 tyres. Can you help me? He went, what size? So I said, 225, 4519. He went, yeah, I've got 2 of those. I said, how much is that going to cost me? Try and focus that a bit more. Hello. Is this going to work? It's because my lens is dirty. So he said, yeah, give me 5 minutes. I'll find 2 tyres for you. I said, how much is that going to cost me? He said, £40 each. 40 pounds each. He said a grand total of £80. I was shocked. I mean, I was willing to pay up to 90 per tyre. Is this going to work? Yeah, I was willing to pay up to 90 per tyre, but he says to me, £40 each, which is absolutely fantastic. So remember, my car's still parked at Kwik Fit. Okay, it gets better. Oh, it gets better. So a 5-minute walk to the shop turned into a 10-minute walk on the way back, with 1 tyre underneath each arm. With 1 tyre underneath each arm. I'm walking down the road like this, with 19-inch tyres underneath each arm. They are not light, and a good 5-minute walk turned into a 10-minute walk back. I looked like I just robbed a car or a tyre shop. I looked criminal walking down the street with 2 tyres underneath my arms. So I get back to Kwik Fit. With 2 tyres that I bought from somewhere else. These were part-worn tyres of a very, very high quality and standard. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to tell that they were used at all. They still had perfect tread and that little coloured band that went around the circumference. So, in all intents and purposes, they were new tyres. They were just taken off another car and were not wanted anymore. So they were pretty much new tyres. I said to the people that failed my MOT, I have these tyres. Can you fit them and then pass my MOT? Bearing in mind, they knew where I was going. Knowing that I was going to leave my car there because they said it was illegal. Strange noises behind me. They said to me, no, sorry, we can't fit those tyres for you because they're part worn, they're used. So I've had to walk 5 minutes that way, spend £80, which is very reasonable, on 2 tyres, walk these massive bastard tyres back, and then to be told, nah, we can't fit these tyres for you because they're part worn. And then they said, to add even more injury to it, Kwik Fit, this is you guys. And, this needs to stop. Even if they were brand new tyres from somewhere else, we would have to charge you £25 per tyre to fit onto your car. So, I then had to stick these tyres in the back of my car and then drive my car illegally back to the tyre shop where the guy that helped me, do you know what, I wish I'd got his name because he's a fantastic human being. He fit my tyres for me. You see, he fit my tyres for me. Took about 10 minutes. Didn't take long. I then had to drive my car illegally again back to Kwik Fit, where this rather manly looking woman retested my car, but only just the tyres, because it passed everything else. But having to wait for her to get things done was like waiting for a bald man to develop the cure for alopecia. That's how long it took for her to pull the car that was in front of mine off of the ramp, park it up, and then drag her sorry carcass over to wherever the hell she was going, finish whatever the hell she was doing, and then come and see me. Between her taking the first car before mine off the ramp and coming to see me took at least half an hour. At least. You see. Now I'm on a time limit now. I've gone from, you know, wanting to get things done, getting my car through its MOT, and then picking up my boys from my mum, and then going to get my other half, to, you know, leaving my boys there until later on in the evening. She then walks over to me sitting in my car, so slow that I'm almost positive I could feel my beard grow in the process. And she said, "Get out of your car." I said, "Do you want me to put it on the ramp?" He goes, "No, I'll do that." I thought, okay, fine. Not a problem. She then drove the car. The time is now 3:05. You know, it's 15:05. I need to pick up my missus from work at 3:30. Okay. She puts the car onto the ramp, and then she gets out the car and raises the car up, and everything she does is just so fucking slow. And she takes her sweet time underneath the car, jacking it up while on the ramp, checking the tyres, checking this, that and the other, and then she lowers the car down, and she reverses the car, back off, parks it up, and I'm not allowed to get in it by now. She's still got the key, you know, and she then disappears back into this little cave she's got. I think it's the cave of manliness. And she then comes out of the cave of manliness and goes to a computer, where she then finally prints off my pass on my MOT, and then finally gives my key back, which then gives me a grand total of 10 minutes to drive to pick up my missus. So this is how they pray on the week. Sorry about this. I've dragged this out for 20 minutes. 23 minutes I've dragged this out for. This is how they pray on the week. Kwik Fit, this is you guys. If I was an elderly man or a vulnerable female, for example, who was unable to walk to any tyre shop and get these tyres and get things sorted out in that respect, if I was the sort of person who would take what you said and thought that I couldn't drive my car anywhere, what would happen? If I was a parent of a baby and I had less money than I had now, you see, what would happen then? Would that person then be forced to call the bank of mum and dad? How would they get any money? How would they end up driving that car off of there legally? Even if they had money, that may be their savings, that may be their only bit of money they had for that rest of that month. Kwik Fit, you pray on the week. You see, luckily I'm quite a resourceful human being. I can get things done when I want to get things done. You see, I'm not shy of walking somewhere. As you can see, I walk to work every day. If I want to get something done and I know it's not that far, or even if it is that far, I will damn well walk there, get what I need, and I'll damn well walk back. That's not a problem for me. If I was an elderly man or an elderly woman that was incapable of doing such a thing, if I was an elderly man or woman with a very finite amount of money when it came to getting these tyres, You see, what would happen then? You're then forcing these people to buy your product. It's what you're doing. It's like you're telling people they're not allowed to drive off your premises. You're telling them they have to buy something from you in order to make that car legal. You're preying on their vulnerability. You're preying on the weak. And not only that, is you're charging ridiculous money for massive brands. Where's your variety? Where are your budget tires? A tire company like you, or not even a tire company, a servicing company, a well-known company like yourselves, Kwik Fit, should have enough of just gumption to cater for everyone's needs. You see, if I'm driving around in a 2004 Ford Fiesta, I'm not going to want Continental tyres or Pirelli or Michelin or Dunlop tyres on my car. I'm driving a 2004 Fiesta. I have no need for such high performance tyres. What I would want is something slightly on the budget scale. I would want an Aero Speed. I would want a GT radial tyre. I would want something on the lower end of the spectrum because I don't have a high performance car. I would want something affordable. I would be driving a 2004 Fiesta for a reason. You see, you need to understand, Kwik Fit, that you cannot prey on the weakness of people just because they need tyres. And trust me, everyone who drives a car needs new tyres at some point. This is an absolute fact, you see. But only stocking the good stuff is not the way a business should operate. And then to tell me that I'm not allowed to drive my car, bitch, please give me back my car key. I will take my car down the road with the tyres that I've just walked here, and I will go back to the shop I bought them from and I'll get them to fit it. You see, I could have just driven it down there to start with anyway, but you know, I could have done with the exercise, to be fair, anyway. But that's neither here nor there. Like I said, I'm a resourceful person. I can get things like this done one way or another. If it came down to a young woman, for example, who may be about 18, 19, 20 years old, just passed her driving test, and she's got a very finite amount of money, and her car's just failed its MOT, and she's got no one to fall back on, how is she going to do that? She may have only £200 plus money for the MOT. What's she going to do then? She can't spend £200 on one tyre, can she? Because then her car is still illegal. And then you're telling her she won't be allowed to drive it out, and she'll take what you say and believe it. What's going to happen then? Kwik Fit, you're literally scoundrels when it comes to taking people's money. I would not have taken my car to you for my MOT if I had the option of going anywhere else. Everywhere else was fully booked. Kwik Fit, the only reason I went to you to get my car MOT'd was sheer convenience, because I was off work yesterday and you guys were the only people that had any space yesterday at all. The only people who I could go to. And believe me, I tried every garage in a 5-mile radius. Oh yes, I did. I was on the phone to everyone trying to check if they had any availability for an MOT. And bearing in mind, yes, my car would have failed its MOT anyway, but I'm not too sure. You see, I can't prove this, but I know my tyres were legal last week. I checked my tyres, they were not bald. And I also know that I went to go and get some lunch while I was getting my car MOT'd. You see. And I checked those tyres when I had the foul. And yeah, they were on the illegal side. But I'm almost positive those were not my tyres. Yes, they were Continental tyres. I've always had Continentals when it comes to new cars. When it comes to buying brand new tyres, I do tend to go for Continental. I do prefer them. But I know those were not my front tyres. Do you know how I know those weren't my front tyres? Because not that long ago, I had my rear tyres swapped out for my front tyres because my rear tyres had more tread than the front tyres. This was about 3 months ago. You see, and I don't do that much mileage. There's no way on earth that my tread had gone down that much in 3 months. My tyres were legal when I brought it there. And because I went out to get some lunch, and remember, I can't prove this. I went to get some lunch and came back to find different Continental tyres on my car. So while I was out, I reckon different tyres were put on my car and then it was given a fail. That's exactly what I think happened there, just so they can try and get my money for brand new Pirellis at £200+ per tyre, which I was not willing to pay for. So, you know, and for those of you who are watching, thank you very much for joining. You're watching Chris on Chris's Real Talk. If it's your first time joining, please subscribe if you like what you see. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Give me a comment below. Thank you very much. Always means a lot to me. Any feedback is fantastic. And if you want to know the true story of what's happened within all of this, then you're going to have to go back 32 minutes and 13 seconds and watch this from the beginning. But Kwik Fit as a company, they prey on the weak. They literally prey on the weak. I was stitched up yesterday. I know my tyres were legal, otherwise I wouldn't have taken it for an MOT. I know they swapped out my front tyres for illegal tyres. I know this because my rear tyres I swapped myself with very good tread for my front tyres 3 months ago. When I had a puncture repair, I made a point of swapping them out because I knew what was going on with my tyres. I keep close eye on my tyres. I've been driving since 2004 with 0 points on my licence. I've had 8 cars in that time. You'd think I know what an illegal tyre looks like. So I do keep close eye on my tyres. I was stitched up that day. Yesterday, I was stitched up. I've got no way of proving what they've done. None. No way of proving. There's no CCTV in there, and I can't prove that they swapped out my legal tyres for illegal tyres and gave me a foul on my MOT. But either way, they do prey on the weak. They really do. An elderly person or a vulnerable female, even a vulnerable male, someone a bit, wet behind the ears, who doesn't have any backbone, who wouldn't argue with them, who didn't have the gumption to go and find tyres somewhere else. And they'd be bullied into buying something from them that was way too expensive. You prey on the weak, Kwik Fit. For shame on you. Shame on you. I would much rather take my money to local business like I did for my tyres. And one day I hope you get caught scamming people. I really, really do. I hope Kwik Fit get caught scamming people. And I'm not much one to wish hardship on people, but I really do hope that company gets shut the fuck down and it is replaced by a company that can cater for absolutely everyone. Anyway, I'm Chris. You've been watching me having yet another rant on Chris's Real Talk. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.